Hi, I'm Aaliyah Woods, co-founder and farm manager for CommonWealth Urban Farms. This is our second installment in our weekly Beginning Gardener video series. Today we're going to plant carrots and onions, but first let's review what we did last week. So last week we got our first smart pot set up for container gardening. We started off with some really high quality potting soil. Ours is homemade, you can buy it also. And then we planted lettuce seed, which is starting to germinate. You can see it. It's been a week and it's just starting to germinate. Those little tiny green sprouts right there. The soil is a little bit dry, so we're gonna water it again. Good to check it every day, especially if it's sunny or windy. It needs frequent watering. All right, so today we're gonna plant carrots and onions. We're posting all of our videos on our YouTube channel, CommonWealth Urban Farms, so you can go there to see our first video if you need a review. Okay, carrots. People sometimes have trouble growing carrots. Here's 2 tips that will really help you out. Tip number 1, keep the seeds moist while they're germinating. Carrot seed can take 2 weeks or even longer to germinate, and it really needs to stay moist that whole time. Carrots are super picky about that. So after you plant the seed, make sure you check it and probably water it every single day to keep it moist for that whole time until it sprouts. Once they sprout, and the seeds don't all sprout at once, but once most of them have sprouted, then you can back off on the watering. Tip number 2, grow your carrots in loose, fertile soil. Carrots are a root crop. The roots grow long and deep. Because we're growing in smart pots with this beautiful soil, we're home free on this one. If you're growing in the ground, in your backyard say, in typical Oklahoma hard red clay soil, carrots are going to have difficulty growing to their full potential. In that case, growing cover crops is a great way to increase the quality of your soil. More on that in a future video. But for now, in these containers, it'll be easy for us to grow really beautiful, long, tender carrots. Carrot seed is small. I've seen many people take a handful of carrot seed and just dump it in the pot. Don't do that. We're gonna plant the seed about 1 inch apart. If you take the seed and put a whole bunch together, you're gonna have a lot of tiny seedlings, very crowded, and you won't get full-size roots. So we're going to take them one by one seeds and just drop them about 1 inch apart. Not every seed will germinate, but this way we'll get a good stand, not too crowded. It's hard, these seeds are so small, it's hard to just drop them one by one 1 inch apart. So I like to use pelleted carrot seed. This is a little harder to find. We buy ours from Johnny's Selected Seeds. These seeds have a clay coating on them, which makes them really easy to pick up and to see where you've planted. So with pelleted seed, we can just drop them in and we can see exactly the trail of where we've planted these seeds. And it's really easy not to overplant. So we're going to plant these seeds on this half of the smart pot, right along here. And then we'll lightly cover them with potting soil. Again, the rule of thumb is cover your seeds 2 to 3 times the thickness of the seed, so not very much. We'll just lightly cover it, and then we'll water it in. All right. Now we're going to plant our onions. These are onion seedlings. You can buy them at local garden centers. So we're going to plant the onions on this edge of the smart pot. To plant your onions, we'll plant them about that deep, right about there. And just poke a hole with your finger, stick the onion in, push the dirt around it, and you can go all the way around the edge, just doing that. You can also grow green onions from these seedlings. So I'm going to push these in as if I was going to grow full-size onions. But if you wanted to grow green onions, you just plant them a little bit deeper so that we get a longer white shaft like we like on green onions. and then plant them, stick your finger in a little deeper and plant them just like that again. For full-size onions, we'll harvest them in June. For green onions, you can harvest them sooner. Again, think about how much space a full-size onion would need and plant them about that far apart. Now, if we were planting in a typical backyard garden with typical soil, we wouldn't be able to plant these so close together. But because we're planting in very, very high quality, fertile soil, we're able to pack in a lot in a small space. After you've finished planting, then you'll water. And there we have it. Carrots and onions done. Next week, we'll start another smart pot and we'll plant arugula and radishes. See you then.